What's up, guys? So I know most of you hate dirt bikes, and if you hate dirt bikes, don't watch this video. Okay, got that out of the way. This is the new CRF450L. A couple of you have asked for a walk around / review on it, so I'm going to do one real quick. I got about 30 miles on road, maybe 40, 20 miles off road riding on it, so it's still in break-in, but I got a pretty good feel for the bike. On pavement, freaking love it. It is way fun. You come out of a corner, hit gear, pull the front wheel in the air, you know, it's wet, slide the back end around. The bike is crazy balanced, and the suspension is crazy good compared to any of the other dual sports I've had, which is a lot of them. I've had all the Honda dual sports. This thing blows them all out of the water. This is the bike we've all been praying for like, 10 years. So super excited to finally have it and getting to put some miles on it. It's sexy. They did a great job with it. I think it looks beautiful. These things are the reflectors are kind of dumb, as you can see, but it's not dumb, not getting run over. Not getting run over is key in life. So let me tell you some things I love about it. The suspension, hands down, best thing about the bike. It's just amazing. I can go from, this trail's near my house, I can go from carving up some little twisty pavement roads, hit some sand, slide it sideways, hit some whoops at 60 miles an hour, whatever. Not sore, it's totally rideable, but it's stiff enough and firm enough to let me actually, really have excellent control. The front end's not diving under braking or twisting around. I mean, the suspension is just perfect for someone my weight. Some reviews said it was kind of soft. I disagree. If anything, I'd say the front is a tad stiff, but that's it. I mean, it might even be perfect. I don't even know. I'm not even going to mess with it. Haven't even bothered with the clickers or the preload at all because it's set up perfect for someone my weight. I'm 5'10", about 190 pounds, 185 pounds. So right about that, if you're that height, that weight, you're going to love this bike. I am a little short for this bike. The seat height is very tall, so I'm not quite flat-footing it on the ground. But I don't like the seat very much anyway, so I'm going to try to get a wider, lower one in the future. The seat is a little too hardcore for me. But you shouldn't be sitting down on this bike too much anyways. So yeah, excellent bike. Excellent. Love it. Super happy with it. Have the same complaints pretty much everyone else does. Gas tank's a little small. It gets, I'm getting like 45 miles per gallon when it's on break-in, so I'm taking it kind of easy. But gas tank's a little small. It's like a 2-gallon tank, 2.1 or something. That's kind of annoying. And the clutch is a little weird. It's got a kind of a tight engagement zone. It's obviously still in break-in. It might totally change, within a couple hundred miles. So hopefully that gets a little better. But right now the clutch is kind of touchy, and it's also kind of slippy. Like, it's when you go through the gears real hard, you kind of have a corner and like seg it, grab third. It doesn't quite snap like you'd expect it to for a bike that's as torquey as this thing is and as powerful as it is. And I think Honda did that on purpose, right, to protect the transmission, because it's a dirt bike transmission on pavement, so you'd want to have some shock absorption there. But the clutch is a little sad. Honda did a bunch of stuff to make it quieter. These are just little plastic bolt-on covers. I thought it was a whole new case cover, but it's just a little plastic thing. They say it makes it quieter. The swing arm's full of some kind of foam, polyurethane, I don't know. Sprockets have rubber on them. You don't feel like that would all do very much, but it does. This bike is really well balanced, and it's way smoother than like a 450R. And I had a 450R, and I did actually a lot of pavement riding on it. I shouldn't have, but it was way too much fun, so you just had to. And this thing is smooth. I mean, it is incredibly smooth for being based on a race bike. Honda added a 6-speed to it. They lowered the compression ratio a little bit. They added 2 more compression rings, so there's a 3-ring piston instead of a 1-ring piston. This model has a cat, obviously, because it's got to be able to be sold in California. Thanks, losers. So it's got a cat on a race bike. Whatever. That's going to go in the trash eventually. I'll probably put a OEM pipe off of the CRF450X. But freaking love it. It's awesome. It's got the DID wheels, freaking Renthal bars, all stock. Very tunable suspension. Nice fork guards, kind of wrap around and protect the back of it. Brakes are really good. They put like a little bit thicker rotors on here, help with some cooling and longevity type stuff. But I mean, their pads are really grippy. I mean, I have zero complaints, that I'm like, oh, Honda, you messed this up. The seat, kind of, I think, if you're going to sell a street legal bike, it's not that it's hard. I mean, it's softer than a motocross seat, but it's just real narrow. But this isn't really intended to be a bike you can cruise on the highway with, right? You're supposed to go from one trail to the next, or, be on pavement, kind of carving stuff up, hanging off the side of the bike. So the seat really isn't that big of an issue. but I'm gonna daily drive this thing, and it's only like maybe a 10-minute drive to work, so seat won't bother me at all for that. But if I do want to take it, you know, drive from here to some trails that are 30-45 minutes away, that seat would suck. So I'd probably trailer it. Which brings me to another thing about it. It's pretty high maintenance. According to the Honda manual, the piston will last 20,000 miles, which is like, okay, cool. But oil changes every 600 miles. That seems really excessive. I'm going to do it for the first one, obviously, and then we'll pay attention to how the oil looks and feels and tastes, and go from there. Valve interval adjustments every 1,800 miles, which is also like, oh my god. Especially when you look at like the WR250R and X's that have like excellent valve service intervals. So that's kind of like, oh well, whatever. But I love the bike. Power is excellent. People were scaring me saying, oh, it has 25 horsepower, it only has 40 horsepower, and that was a bunch of bullshit, obviously. I think it's safe to say it makes probably like 44 horsepower-ish. You can ride it side by side with an R, and the R makes it, you know, 61, 62. So it's definitely not an R, right? It doesn't rev out as high, and that's where you get horsepower, right? You get horsepower in the RPMs. But this thing makes the torque pretty low. You can put it in third gear and just leave it in third gear and trail ride it. I mean, you can lug it, you can rev it out, whatever. It's comfortable anywhere in that range. It's not a silky smooth air-cooled motor though. I mean, you got to remember it's 12 to 1 compression ratio thumper. You know, big diameter piston, short stroke monster. It's not going to be like a 400X or an XR400 or, you know, an XR or CRF450L or whatever. It's not going to be silky smooth, you know. It's user friendly, but don't get it if it's your first bike, right? I mean, it's based on a race bike, so it'll definitely bite you. And it's way quieter than it should be for how nasty it is, so that'll also fuck you up. I'm making a video.